Leading up to the release of Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War Core 3, it seemed like we had an endless news cycle. We had everything from the first Bleach console game in 10 years, to a proof of concept for an anime remake. The Bleach fandom is great at keeping the hype alive and trending, so even though it had been a while since the finale of Core 2, it didn't really feel like it. I really appreciate the people keeping everyone up to date with that stuff. What I really want to talk about myself is how amazing Core 3 has been so far though. Now we didn't get here overnight. If you remember, during the production of Part 1 and 2, animators and staff faced significant controversy and backlash due to reports of grueling working conditions, tight deadlines, and uneven production schedules. Fans noticed occasional dips in animation quality and consistency, while still impressive, highlighted the toll of rushed timelines on the creative team. While there were legitimate criticisms to be made, a lot of it was genuinely from places of nitpicking or just actual anti-fans. Unfortunately, some of these people would even take it to the extreme by directly harassing the staff. In response to all this, Studio Pierrot restructured its approach, establishing a new internal studio called Studio Pierrot Films to specifically address these issues. With Bleach Part 3 as its first major project, the new studio prioritized improved workflows, better management, and a sustainable production environment. All that aside, composition has never really been an issue for Bleach. The art direction throughout the entire adaptation has been well executed, maintaining its signature poetry and stylistic flair. The use of dramatic lighting and intricate set designs in Core 3 elevates key moments, particularly with locations like the Soul Palace and Varveld, which act as hauntingly ethereal backdrops for the high-stakes battles. The vibrant yet carefully balanced color palette underscores the intensity and shifts in tone, making every frame visually stunning. The choreography of the season really stands out, with a focus on dynamic and fluid action sequences. Techniques like the Atano Circus amplify the chaotic beauty of projectile-heavy combat, while the camera work brings a cinematic quality to clashes such as those involving Ishida's new abilities or Ichibe's overwhelming power. While the CGI integration has sparked some debate among fans, it undeniably enhances moments like Pernita's grotesque transformations, as well as the scale of larger battles. This season's dedication to detailed animation and storytelling firmly secures it as a standout chapter in the 1000-Year Blood War saga. Audience reception to Bleach Core 3 has been overwhelmingly positive. While I've seen some people have criticisms of the anime original material, a vast majority of people think it's an improvement on their manga counterparts. As for the animation and art direction, it's pretty much entirely positive. As mentioned, there were some people who dislike the inclusion of CGI and don't care that it has a thematic purpose. You can't really account for the taste of every single person when making a series as popular as Bleach. A lot of the criticisms of Bleach might be logical or even a fair enough point, but they're almost always rooted in or overlapped with entirely subjective beliefs. The fact of the matter is that the 1000-Year Blood War arc is an incredibly divisive arc, and even when they do an objectively good job, people are still going to nitpick or complain. Personally, this is the best time I've had watching Bleach since the original run of the anime. Right before it came out, I decided not to cover it week to week like I did for Season 2 and not take anything for granted. I had some issues with Season 1 and 2, but I genuinely don't have almost anything negative to say about Season 3. For the rest of the review, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back. Ichigo Kurosaki with his allies find themselves thrust into a climatic struggle against the Quincy King, Yuha, and his powerful Stern Raider army in Core 3. As the Soul Society and Wako Mundo descend into further chaos, Ichigo must confront his limitations and harness newfound strength to protect those he holds dear. Meanwhile, the Soul Reapers and their allies face devastating losses as Yuha's forces unleash terrifying abilities, testing their resolve and strategies. From the eerie serenity of the Soul Palace to the frantic battles on the ground, the stakes escalate as Ichigo and his allies discover Yuha's ultimate plan. Each confrontation reveals shocking truths and character-defining moments, culminating in pivotal showdowns that highlight both the unity and sacrifices of the defenders of the Soul Society. My favorite moment in Core 3 is Nemu's final stand against Pernita, revealing the layers of tragedy and resilience that define her character. As the culmination of Mayori's ruthless experiments, Nemu embodies both perfection and sacrifice. Her choice to confront Pernita alone demonstrates a self-awareness and autonomy beyond what Mayori initially allowed her. The scene juxtaposes her engineered origins with her deeply human capacity for love and loyalty. In sacrificing herself, Nimue not only defies her predetermined role as a tool, but asserts her identity as someone willing to protect Mayuri and the world they inhabit. The hauntingly vivid animation amplifies the grotesque beauty of her struggle. Visceral, tragic, yet undeniably heroic. It's not just a battle of survival, but an existential statement. Nimue's evolution transcends her artificial origins, leaving an emotional void that even Mayuri and his stoicism cannot ignore. This moment reframes their dynamic, hinting at a bond that, while unconventional, carries a profound sense of loss and unspoken love. The Shunsui and the Now segment also really captured my emotion and attention. On one hand, you finally see that other side to Shunsui as he shifts his entire personality to adjust to the circumstances of being left with burden after burden. His jovial and carefree demeanor gives way to a somber gravity as he reveals his history with Nanao and the responsibility he carries for her protection. A shared moment during the battle with Liliparo, while Nanao wields the sacred Zanpakuto passed down through her family, ties together years of subtle character development. Shunsui's quiet resilience and Nanao's courage come together through this long story of duty, legacy, and trust, showing how their fates have been deeply intertwined from the beginning. The last thing I wanted to mention is Shiro Sagisu's masterful score. Pieces like Soundscape to Ardor and Number 1 are reimagined with darker, more intense instrumentation, complementing the weight of the Soul Society struggles. Sagisu also introduces new tracks that mirror the emotional stakes and high-energy battles, ensuring the music is as memorable as the visuals. The sound design in general is great. The mixing is very precise and ensures that every detail, from the subtleties of whispered dialogue to the booming resonance of devastating attacks, is highlighted. One of my favorite examples of this is in the finale, where Yoruichi uses Raiji and Senkai. The sound design just makes it feel so much more intense. I'm honestly loving what Bleach Core 3 has delivered so far. The action is top notch, the animation is absolutely stunning, and I can't get enough of the character moments that really dig into everyone's backstories. I will probably be making videos on some of the things I haven't talked about. This is more so just my general review and things that really stood out to me. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to talk about, be sure to let me know. I'm definitely excited for what's next, especially with how they're going to adapt the next handful of chapters. These might be the most rushed in the entire manga, so I'm curious how they'll stretch those into an entire season. That said, I'm looking forward to seeing how the production team elevates these moments with all their visual and emotional flair. The last interesting thing I'll mention is that I really like how the anime staff actually used a lot of real-life references to design the scenes in Barveld, which is particularly inspired by real-life German architecture. Architecture is one of those things that people think that Bleach just entirely lacks, but like anything, Kubo does have an interesting way of handling it. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I'm curious what you guys have to say. How did you feel about Season 3 of Bleach's Thousand Year Blood War? What was your favorite part? Like I said, mine was definitely Nimue's backstory. Anything you didn't enjoy? I've seen some people criticize how Ichibe and Squad Zero was handled. They actually made some fair enough points, but I don't know how common that is. So I would love to hear if you have any issues with the season. Also, thanks for making it until the end of the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to upload way more this year, and I'm trying to vastly improve the quality. I will see you in the next one.